Kenyans seeking to buy cars are set to dig more into their pockets after the import duty increased from 25 to 35%. Effectively, this means that imported vehicles will now fetch a much higher price locally by an extra $1,000 for an automobile originally being imported at $7,100.
Given the current state of the economy that is not very good, and as it stands, before even the increment was made, we've always had complaints about Kenya's taxation policy. So we feel now going ahead to add the tax is actually going to kill this business, because most people are going to stick to buying older cars that are already in the market.
Kenya imports an average of between 80,000 and 100,000 fully built vehicles every year and has an installed vehicle assembly capacity of slightly over 30,000 units. But the new move will not only see a shrinkage in the volume of cars being imported into the country, but also push some importers out of business.
Another challenge that we're also experiencing is the fact that the shilling is taking a hit from the dollar and the sterling pound. And in most of these markets, we normally transact with the dollar. So we foresee a situation where prices are going to rise to very critical levels that a lot of clients may not be comfortable with footing. And in the long run, of course, that means a decline in sales.
Most of the vehicles that are manufactured locally probably are a bit expensive or are not are probably within the commercial industry, commercial vehicles, which may not be appropriate or may not be required by a majority of people who do the import. So that potentially might be assuaging a small size of the market, whereas the big market, who are mainly people who are importing vehicles for local use, private use, might be hampered by the increase in the import duty.
The cost of buying cars in Kenya will henceforth exceed the prices in other regional markets such as Uganda and Rwanda. Analysts say this duty hike, combined with the recent fuel price increases, may push importers towards embracing alternative options.
For our company at the moment, we are shifting our attention to the local market. So we've come up with a product called the marketplace that allows us to trade vehicles that are already in the market. So we are pushing a lot of local used cars, as opposed to putting our emphasis on the newly imported cars, because we feel that the market is actually going to shift.
The raising of the import duty to 35% comes at a time when the cost of living is at an all-time high, partly due to a depreciating local currency. Kenyan car buyers are now calling on the government to halt the move because industry players were not consulted, and they say this is unconstitutional. Ian Kinyua, CGTN, Nairobi.